Hey guys, how's it going? MasterBucks here. Welcome to another episode of the Newcastle career mode in FIFA 18. And not just a brand new episode, it's a brand new season. Season 2, we're about to get it underway. The first season was, I'm going to say it was a success, even though we finished 11th when we could have finished, top 6, it was always a bit of a pipe dream, but we could have been at least knocking on the door. So maybe 7th, 8th, 9th. Basically, a top 10 finish was on the cards. Didn't have a good end to our season, but really, I never expected to be anywhere near that sort of situation, honestly. And to be fair, we actually are probably going to end up finishing lower than Newcastle will in real life, despite the fact we probably picked up more points than Newcastle did in real life at the moment. I think it was 49 points that we managed for the entire season. Newcastle in real life probably going to get about that same amount as well. And that's what I was going for with this career mode, to try to make it a really realistic career mode by making it as difficult and as impossible for me as possible to try to make it that little bit more realistic. So we basically finished with a very similar amount of points, a probably pretty similar league table position, and we didn't go overboard with signings or anything like that because of the restricted budget. And now, starting season 2, we can go and take a look at my brand new team. And by brand new, it's still pretty much more of the same, but with a few changes. Thomas Strakosha is still my goalkeeper, of course. He's 79 rated. We've still got the exact same back four as I was rocking with at the start of last season. I've trained up a few of those players, so now we nearly have an all 80 rated back four, which is great. Looking at our midfield, Matt Ritchie's there. He might honestly be a player I'm looking to maybe find a new player for, like a new starting right midfielder. We've got Aaron Ramsey, who I brought in on a pre-contract. I said that I only would limit myself to one pre-contract signing, and I made it Aaron Ramsey. Him alongside Shelby, I'm very happy with that midfield. We've got Atsu at left mid, who did surprisingly well for me. He scored the second most amount of goals. The most was scored by Slimani, and we've lost him, unfortunately, going back to Leicester after he was loaned in. Jose Perez, a player that is playing in a position I wanted to sign a new player for throughout the entirety of last season at centre attack and midfield. He popped up and he was great, so I've kept him in the starting 11. And Alexander Dmitriyevich coming back from his loan from Fulham, so he's going to have to start for us now that Islam Slimani has gone back to Leicester. I debated whether or not I wanted to bring him back, and in the end I've decided I'm going to stick with Mitro for the moment, but if I need to, I might have to switch things up. The bench looks like this. Max Sells is back from loan, and I'll be honest, he is the highest rated, or second highest rated goalkeeper that Newcastle have, and he's only like 26 years of age compared to like Darlow, who's 27, Dubravka, who's 29. So honestly, he's probably the best second or best backup goalkeeper that I've got. So he's going to be my bench goalkeeper. We've got Mbemba and Dummett as the defenders, Marino, Olwa, and then also Jacob Murphy, who's going to be my backup winger who can play both right mid and left mid. And then we've got Dwight Gale as my bench striker. And as for the reserves, we've got quite a fair few players in here. Some that you'll definitely see featuring a little bit, but a lot of youth academy players, like you've got Jackson, Barre, Payard, Lopez, and just a bunch of others all over the place. Be sure to keep your eye on the players that we pull out the youth academy. Like I said, I wanted to do several seasons of the Newcastle career mode, so there's a good chance you'll see a few of these boys actually making quite a fair few appearances in the future. I'm just going to say it now too, by the way, you can definitely expect a lot of those lower rated players to be loaned away, and depending on how old they are, just potentially transfer listed and sold straight away as well. I'm thinking maybe just around about 10 or so players, honestly, that I've got loan listed and transfer listed. Speaking of, by the way, a transfer budget, we've got a little more than what we were working with last season, or at the beginning of last season. We got 42 million. 52 million would have been great, but no, it's just 42 million worth of a transfer budget and a little over 130 grand worth of wage. I don't know if I blow that all on just one player, if possible, or if I go and buy maybe 1 or 2 or 3 decent players with that money. We will wait and see. I'm going to show you the short list of players that I've got at the moment. I'm still scouting a few of them, and there were still some of the transfer targets that I had from last season in the short list. But for now, though, we'll focus on the upcoming international friendly games that we've got, simulate them with the second team. I don't want to risk any of my starting 11 players getting injured before the season. So yeah, we'll see how that all goes. And take a look. This is my backup team, ladies and gentlemen. Not a single starting 11 player is in there. You know, I was talking so highly of them, and then they ended up conceding within a minute. But then one of their players got sent off. Gale equalises. Let's see how it finishes. 2-1 victory. Okay, maybe there is still a bit of life left in that backup team. But every single one of those players is not in my starting 11. I think that's a bloody good team, considering we're Newcastle, if that's our backup side. I mean, yeah, sure, we needed Shelby to come off the bench and win it for us, but still, it's okay. We got the W against Stuttgart. Now we need to see if we can get it against Mainz. They've got a 5 at the back defense. Still the second team out there. And yeah, what is going on with this team conceding early goals right now? Honestly, we got De Jong getting one. Murphy equalised. And then we ended up conceding a second in the 61st minute. And don't tell me that De Jong isn't CM De Jong or Luke De Jong. It doesn't matter. We've literally had every single De Jong Newcastle, haven't we? And they've all been shit for us. We've got the third and final group game in the international friendly tournament coming up next. But before we get into it, I'll show you the drills that I'm giving out at the moment. I'm not giving it to any youth academy players at the moment. It's just really starting 11 players and certain reserve and bench players. We've got Alexander Dmitriyevich, who I wanted to train up if I'm going to be starting him as striker. And, you know, I've been used to Islam Slimani being up forward. Now going to Mitro, a slightly slower, maybe not as highly rated striker. I definitely want to train him up a bit. In Chantel Mbemba, who is still a player that can still grow pretty quickly, still showing that potential to be able to get up nice and highly through training, so I'm giving him drills. Alphonso Davies I'm training up. We've got Owar as well, getting a couple of drills, just working on his attacking, positioning, finishing, and shot power. And then, of course, Thomas Strakosha. I feel like I'm just going to go with this guy as my #1 goalkeeper for the rest of the career. So I think I'm going to train him up, get him to, like, I don't know, mid-80s if possible, and then stop, because then he should be good. So we'll stick with these drills for the, I would imagine, next couple of months, and that's a pretty good bunch of results, you know. No A's, nothing crazy, but just good, consistent results. I appreciate it. So the way things stand, Spartak Moscow are currently in that second spot on the table, and they're only up on goal difference, which means we need to beat this team if we're going to get up into the next round. I tell you what, maybe just for this one game, I'll put my starting 11 out there and hope for the best and hope for no injuries. We do score very early. I thought we were going to concede again within another 5 minutes, but we get a goal through Perez. We'll skip ahead. 2-1 victory. It's worked out. Very nice. No injuries. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Come on. It's been a while, but we finally have a transfer offer for a player that I'm probably going to not even be able to sell because of his high wage. I mean, if Shrewsbury Town are coming after a Premier League player, their wages are never going to be, they're never going to be able to come up. It's always going to be transfer talks or the contract negotiations breaking down every single time a smaller club goes for a Premier League player, but we'll sort that out, hope for the best, and then of course we pick up 1.5 mil for our progression in the European International Cup. I've got a loan offer here for Rayo Vallecano for Jacob Murphy. Now this is the guy I've got on the bench at the moment, a guy that's a right midfielder that can play on the left mid, and the player that I have on the bench to bring on to replace either Atsu or Richie. But to be honest, I've got so many other players that I could put in that position that are about the same overall. I mean, we've got Rolando Aarons, can play both right mid and left mid, and then Alphonso Davies. So I think, honestly, I may as well loan this bloke away if we've got the offer, so I'll just accept that. Why not? And then another loan offer straight away, only a couple of days later. Freddie Woodman now wants to get loaned out to, is that Burton Albion? All right, well, we'll take him. Well, hopefully they'll take him. We'll see. Freddie Woodman, he's not really going to get a run this season for us, that's for sure. And here we go. Semi-finals against Mönchengladbach with a home team in a sim game, even though it's all games in Germany. It normally will maybe help us out in the sim. We'll skip ahead. 2-1 victory. We're going to the final. Even though they pinched one in the 81st, we're still going through. And it looks like they didn't play their best team either, to be honest. It's just the game of reserves, honestly. Awesome. So that's just a little bit more cash in the bank. We'll see just how much exactly. We got 1.5 for making it out of the group. A little bit more training. No one's gone up in overall just yet. Damn, we get 3.3 million for winning one international friendly game. That is it. Brilliant stuff. I'd love to get maybe another 3 or 4, 5, whatever million if we win the final. That'd be terrific. And another loan offer for a player I am looking to get away. Macaulay Gillespie to Millwall for 1 year. Yep, sure, we'll accept that one as well, hopefully. And the final appears to be against Southampton. Okay, so it's 2 Premier League teams going at it in a German international friendly tournament. That's kind of funny. Let's go for it. I can't believe we haven't just got 1, but 2 English teams succeeding in Germany. This is incredible. Anyway, they once again score straight away because that is the fault with this backup team. They always concede within fucking 5 minutes. Let's just skip ahead. Yep, and that's it. And oh my god, Owar had a penalty and missed it and could have taken us to extra time. But no, we go out in the final, which is annoying. I still think we get a little bit of cash, even for making it this far. But we could have had just that little bit more. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but what can you do? Freddie Woodman has actually been loaned away, as has Jacob Murphy. And we also got a transfer offer for Jamal Lascelles, but look, boys, there are just a handful of players in this team that are absolutely untouchable, even if they're not like 90-rated superstars. And Lascelles is the captain. He's not going anywhere. He's untouchable. Another transfer has come in for Jesus Gamez, a 33-year-old right back in bad form who is just going to continue to get worse. Even if we have to sell him for less than his value, I don't mind. Let's just... Alright, Jesus Gamez, thank you, but no, you're out. Let's go. How about this for a transfer offer? Liverpool looking to get Jonjo Shelvey back. That's interesting for 17 million. I mean, not thinking of letting him go. And to be fair, it's not really even that enticing of an offer, but it's funny to see Liverpool crawling back for John Joe Shelby now that he's become basically the best passer that England have of the ball. A little bit more training, and I reckon we should see some players jumping in overall, and we do. It's Strakosha up to an 80. I thought Dmitriyevich probably, and especially Davies, could have gotten close, but no. But we now have an 80 rated goalkeeper for the first time in a long time. Welcome to Thomas Strakosha's 80 rating. I'll be honest, when I first brought in Thomas Strakosha, I was a bit nervous that I bought a bit of a dud, because we were conceding a lot, but honestly, that was really his fault. We just had stupid sliders and stupid shot power. He had no chance. And I sort of got over the fact. But he's managed some pretty good saves. Now, speaking of goalkeepers, we have Martin Dubravka for $4 million, Derby County. He's now my third choice goalkeeper after this. Probably even my fourth, with Carl Darlow still in the mix, about the same overall. So I'm willing to let one of these guys go. And Derby County offering $4 million. Look, if I did try to get a bit more out of them, it'd only be about $1 million or so extra. But no, I'm probably going to take that, you know. That's fine. We've also got offers for Yedlin and, of course, Shelby, but I'm not going to let those two go. And there you have it as well, too, by the way. Martin Dubravka going to Derby. I love him in real life, but there's no real room for him in this career mode, unfortunately. Still moving on, though. We have got a couple of scout reports back, which we'll take a look at. And I just, for the life of me, can't seem to get rid of Jesus Gomez. I couldn't accept that offer because we were already waiting on him to go to another club. It's a weird one, but I can't seem to get rid of Jesus Gomez. It's just like he will not go. Looking at the scout report for Scotland, and there are some players in here. Dave Gray's the highest overall, but he doesn't have a high value. Potential wise, it's not amazing. No one that I'm going to sign here just yet. Having a look in Ireland, though, the scout Brendan McGee, with 5-star experience and 5-star judgment, has come up with Luke Murphy, a 6'4" goalkeeper with a value over $500,000. So I'm definitely picking him up. And then also Cathal Curran, I believe that is. Cathal, right? Yes, I believe. Come on. And he's got a max overall of 70. The value is only just under $500,000, but I'm still going to sign him up too. He's 5'5". Hopefully he grows a little bit if possible. And in England, again, there's still not much to talk about. Lance Edwards, the highest overall with a good potential, but the value is really low. So something tells me it would not be a good value. It wouldn't be a good overall. Ethan Watson's really the highest value player that is there. But 350, I mean, normally you'd want maybe just that little bit more. So I'm not bringing anyone in from England just yet either. I will now show you guys my short list of players. There are some good players in here that are nice and low overall that have high potentials. I might just bring in if we've got some spare cash floating around. And then we've got some players that are really highly rated. And honestly, I would have loved to have gone for Quincy Promes. But the problem is he just signed for Atletico Madrid and I'm finding it out for the first time. That is so frustrating. Because I've wanted to get Quincy Promes in a career mode for so long, and now it looks like I'm going to have to wait just that little bit longer. So maybe he's out of the question. We've got Oliver Burke, who's 72 rated. Again, one of those backup players I might look to sign if we had the cash for. Kingsley Coman's another one, a player that can play both right mid and left mid. However, we're going to have to pay something like $50 million for him, cash that I'm not sure we have. I also really wanted to go for a centre attacking midfielder as well. Even though Perez has been great, I still want to get a new one in, a highly rated one. We've got Milinkovic-Savic, who is a CM, but he can play at centre attacking midfield. We've got Lanzini, Forsberg, and Sabitzer. I don't know why I put so much emphasis on it, but one of those four would have been great. They're also quite expensive options though, except all the centre attacking midfielders are basically the exact same value and the exact same overall. Milinkovic-Savic I would love to bring in, but he might be a bit too pricey. I've got a lot of options in here in a lot of different positions, so honestly I'll just let you know who I end up bringing in, if anyone. Okay, quick update for you guys. I have been trying to get rid of some of the players in my team that I'm not big fans of. Guys like, funnily enough, Jesus Gomez and Hosselu and a few other players. I was trying to swap Hosselu for a couple of the young strikers that I've got on my list. I tried Tammy Abraham, didn't work out. Then I went for Oberlin. Dmitry Oberlin is a nice 6-foot-ish tall, pacey striker, 74 overall. Hosselu is a little higher rated, but in the end, they wanted a right back. I said Jesus Gomez, and now they're like, we want him plus 12 million or so. If I can barter them down a bit, I reckon we've got a good deal on our hands. Look, I tell you what, take it down to 15. It's not even that bad. You give me what you want, or you give me what I want, and then he's yours. I think we can agree on that. Okay, sweet. Well, it looks like we might be signing Dmitry Oberlin, a nice, different alternate striker that could end up becoming quite highly rated in the future. And again, they're getting very specific with the bonuses and the wages and all that, but whatever. 15 appearances. Will he make 15 appearances this year? I don't even know. I don't even think he will manage 15, honestly. So I think, yeah, that should be fine. But because I'm stingy as fuck and you have to give me something, let's make it 50 grand wage, and you're a motherfucker. 52.5 million. Come on, I'm trying to save like, what is it? 10 grand a year here, something like that. I don't know. My client needs some time to consider your... It's 500 bucks! Why are you such a fucking prick? Oh, honestly, I am so done. I am so finished with negotiating with agents. I'm never doing it again. I'll talk with the managers, okay? Because they're not total fucking pricks. But from now on, whenever it's contracts, I'm just delegating. My assistant manager can do it. I'm not going anywhere fucking near those agents again. They are cunt bags. We've now got another transfer in the works here. I'm going in for Cengiz Under, who is the starlet Turkish right winger at the moment, currently playing for Roma. I'm going to see if I can trade him for Orlando Aarons. They might potentially be up for this, but I've got to pay 12 million, or that's what I'm going to start off with. I imagine they will not probably accept that. No, but they'll go for 14.2. 14.2, so I'm going to have to pay about 20 million for the bloke. He's worth just a little under 20. I'll probably take that, you know, for a 21-year-old, 78 rated, and we have a bloke that can play on the right wing if need be, if I feel like I need to put him there instead of Matt Ritchie. I'm going to accept this, you know. We're going to go for it. So 78 rated, 21-year-old Cengiz Under from Roma. I believe I'm saying that right. We'll accept that. Come on, we have a deal. And because I am so finished with dealing with agents and all that, I'm delegating the contract talks. I'll start the wage at 50. Don't go any higher than 80. Stuff it. Let's make it 90 just to be safe. But yeah, we'll go with that. I feel like we've done an awful lot in this episode. I'll be totally honest. But yeah, I was going to play the first game of the Premier League season, but because we've been doing this, or there's been so much going on, I might not have enough time, really. We'll just probably have to wait for the next episode. But again, we see Owar go up to a 78 and Strakosha's up to an 81. It's only been a month and he's already gone up by 2. I reckon when I get Thomas Strakosha to an 85, then I'll stop. Transfer for Matt Sells not happening, and I wasn't going to sell DeAndre Yedlin. I'd say we've got about 2 weeks until the first Premier League game. We've got a contract offer accept from Dmitry Oberlin, so nice. We finally got rid of Jesus Gomez, and we brought in a nice young, very pacey striker as well. Good, nice, tall. I think he's about 6 foot or so. We'll accept that. Nice. So he becomes really our second, third choice striker, honestly. I might give him some drills and maybe he'll become higher up the pecking order. We also have an accept from Cengiz Under, who is going to come from Roma to Newcastle, 69 grand a week, 5 years. He's a first team player, so I have to make sure that I give him plenty of games, which I'm sure I will. But you know what? I'll accept that. I don't even, I'm not even going to bother bartering it down. Is it only for 3? No, it is for 5 years. Awesome stuff. Accepting it. Bang. No bonuses, no shitty, what am I calling it? No shitty contract buyout clause or anything like that. So, 2 signings already, Under and Oberlin. And after advancing for what feels like an eternity, we're only 5 days away from the first game. Wow. I thought that bloke's last name was something totally different for a second. And I think one last piece of business in this episode. There's been so much going on, but we have a loan offer for even Tony. I'd love it if it was Tony, but I'm pretty sure it's just Tony. It's for a year. At Celtic, I don't know how much game time he'd get, but he's 69 rated, probably not going to get an awful lot of action this season, so we'll send him away as well. And finally, we've made it to the first game of the Premier League season. It will be away against Brighton. We'll play it the very first thing in the next episode, but just a quick recap of everything that we've done so far. So we sent Jacob Murphy away on loan. We sent Woodman on loan. Gillespie's out on loan. We sold Martin Dubravka for 4 million. And then we brought in Oberlin for 9 million plus Jesus Gomez, a guy that I was looking to get rid of anyway. And then we brought in Under for 14.1 million plus Orlando Aarons. In the end, Aarons, he doesn't really have a super high potential compared to the other left midfielders that we've got. Jacob Murphy and, who again, one of the players I sold out on loan, or I got out on loan. And then, of course, Alphonso Davies as well. So he wasn't going to get much time. I wasn't even probably going to train him. So in the end, if we were able to get him, plus a little bit of cash for Under, I was happy with that. So after all that transfer activity, the starting 11 remains pretty much unchanged, except for the fact that I've now got Under starting as a right midfielder, even though he's a right winger. Yes, I understand that. I don't know if I'll be going to a 4-3-3 immediately and maybe playing Atsu as a left winger. He probably could do all right as a left winger, I would imagine. I'll see how Under goes as just a right mid for now. If I feel like he'd be better off being a little further up the pitch, then sure, maybe I'll switch things up to a 4-3-3 and have Atsu as a left winger. But regardless, I feel like I'm either going to, at some point, either this transfer window or in January, bring in another left winger to accommodate Under. But there we are. The job is somewhat done. We've still got a little bit left to do, but I reckon we've had a pretty good transfer window so far. Still a few players I'd like to get away on loan. Still a few players I'd like to get rid of and just sell straight up. And then definitely still a few players I'd love to bring in if possible. But until the next episode of the Newcastle United Career Mode, guys, my name is the MasterBucks. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Season 2 is well underway. Have a good one. Bye-bye.